Hello. There are lots of different ways of being a Jew and lots of ways of understanding Torah. Some people are rational, some people are mystical, some people find a balance between them. My approach is that no two people are the same, and everybody has to find the approach that suits them. Some people by nature are more intellectual, some people by nature are more mystical, straightforward. So I want to study with you a well-known piece of Gemara to illustrate exactly what I mean. The Gemara comes from Chagiga, Daf Yud Daled, and it talks about four great rabbis entering the Pardess. The Pardess literally means an orchard, and it is used in the Gemara as a synonym for a deep mystical experience, a profound experience of God. It's not enough just to keep mitzvot, to treat religion as a routine, important as that is. It's very important for each one of us to try to encounter God in a very personal way, but these ways vary. So this is a story about four great rabbis who are given this wonderful mystical experience of Pardess. And when they come into this Pardess, they see and they feel and they sense things that they've never sensed before. One of them, Rabbi Akiva, gives them advice and says, when you see things that look on the surface to be one way, don't assume that's the only way of looking at things. Because if you do, you'll miss the point. Each one of the four rabbis responded to this experience in a different way. One got carried away mystically so much that it's almost as though he couldn't live anymore. Another one was so preoccupied with detail that he lost his sense of balance. A third one abandoned Judaism altogether for pure rationalism. Only Rabbi Akiva, who had given them the good advice in advance, who said, don't treat things as they appear superficially, was able to take this experience and come out richer and more balanced for it. That's the overall view of the story. Let me now read the text. Arba nichnasu b'Pardess. Four people, four rabbis, entered the orchard. Ve'eluhen, and these are them, Ben Azai, Ben Zoma, Acher, that's Elisha ben Abuya, who was called someone else when he abandoned Judaism, Rabbi Akiva. Amar lahem Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said to them, before they were going in to have this profound experience, he says, Kshatem magi'im eitzel avnei shaish tahor. When you head towards this pure marble, this pure stone, al tomru, don't say mayim, that it is water. Mishum shenemar, because it says in the Tanakh, the dovesh karim lo yikona negedinah, that God says people who don't see the truth really can't understand me, can't have a profound relationship with me. Then Rabbi Akiva clearly shows that he's been there before. He knows what to expect. And so he is acting as the guide. And they go in all together into this experience. What happens is that Ben Azai looks, he has this experience, umeit, and dies. Why does he die? What does it mean he dies? Ben Azai was an absolute brilliant man. He was so brilliant, so involved in Torah, that he didn't want to get married. But he was also a profound mystic. But he was so swept away by this mysticism that he lost all contact with other human beings. Whether he died literally or metaphorically, he was no longer part of this world. Ben Zomar, on the other hand, he hitzitz, he looked, and nifga, he went mad. he was such a brilliant man, such a brilliant scholar, such an academic, so rational, that he tried to understand, he tried to get to the bottom of things, to the exclusion of all else. He became so preoccupied that it drove him mad, virtually literally. Elisha ben Abuya, on the other hand, he had a look, and kitzetz b'netiyot, he hacked at the roots of Judaism. He could not accept anything that was mystical. He thought it was all rubbish, it was all hocus pocus, it was pointless. Unless you're scientific, unless you're rational, unless you're Greek, nothing works. And so for him, there was no room for the mystical, no room for the spiritual, and he abandoned it. Rabbi Akiva, on the other hand, he was the only one who could find a balance between all these different elements. He came to Torah late in life. He grew up to be one of the great scholars of the generation. One stage the Gemara even compared him to Moshe Rabbeinu. And in addition, he was a mystic. He understood the mystical side of Judaism. He understood that the Song of Songs was a mystical poem, not a literal poem. And of course, he was a politician, and he was therefore very much involved in human affairs. He hadn't withdrawn from human affairs, even though his decision to follow Bar Kokhba was proved to be the wrong decision to take. So Rabbi Akiva is the man who was able to have this experience and come out a balanced person. Somebody whose relationship with Torah fed his mystical side, fed his intellectual side, and also helped him be a better human being with other human beings. This story, therefore, illustrates the options that people have when they face a religious experience. And we see around us people who fit each one of these different models. But the challenge that each one of us has is to find the model, the way of being religious that suits us. I believe that whichever way we choose, it has to be within the framework of halakha. That halakha, Jewish law, gives us the structure, the way we should live our daily lives. But the experience of God, the passion of being close to God, is what illuminates and what warms our lives, and what ultimately every one of us has to try to achieve. May the Almighty give us all shalom, peace.